Hello everyone, and welcome back to Remains to be Seen, the D&D show where one group's past could determine the other group's future. I am your host and dungeon master, Rover Elliott. Today I am here with...
Hi, I'm Annie Ruby, she, her.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Simpson, she, her.
Hi, I'm Joe Mendacium, any pronouns.
And I'm Mirah Fae, she, her.
And who are you guys playing?
I'm playing Josie, who is the permanently on babysitter.
I'm Corwin Duvall, slightly more healed than I was last time.
Viktor should have packed painkillers for all of the party, Valthayne.
And Una, who probably should have read the notes before starting.
Valid.
Wonderful. So, Joe, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the past episodes that we had now?
So, very quick. First of all, if you start here and this is your first episode, what are you doing? Go to episode 1. Thank you. Secondly, we all met in London. We all got the assignment from our boss, Safra, to go and search for Jonny, who's been missing for several weeks now. So we went on a train to Oxford. Quite as Viktor expected, trains are dangerous because this train stopped halfway into a tunnel. Lights went out. We, through magic sleuthing, I guess, our paladin found out that the people we have seen on the train, or one of the persons we have seen on the train, seems to be some type of fiend, a person, humanoid, with a briefcase, and a undead type thing that was doing some stuff on the roof of the train, leaving indentations in the roof. So we went investigating, left the train, saw that I think the guy vanished before we left the train, right?
The fiend? Yes. Yes, the
briefcase guy while we were headed toward the back. And
everyone
then
vanished.
Other guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then the tabaxi as well.
Oh, right, I forgot about the tabaxi. I'm so sorry. So there was also a random tabaxi on the train who also pinged on the paladin radar as evil, or as a fiend, rather. They also vanished. As we went outside investigating, the thing on the roof turned out to be some type of zombie puppeteered by something we could not see, but could see it might be heavy and spider-like,
Well, Josie knows spider, and Josie has not said that to anybody else.
The druid knows spider. Yeah, and Viktor shot it, because what do you do when you see something scary? Just shoot it. Don't run from it. Just shoot it and see what happens. It also vanished. And we boarded the train. There was a lot of headaches going on from Una, because she now hears voices in her head. And I think we ended with arriving in Oxford.
You guys arrived in Oxford, where there was a kind of a poster with Mechanics Incarnate.
Said temporarily closed.
Yeah,
There was a sticker saying temporarily closed. There was another line under it
I didn't get the
I
subtitle
forgot, which
either.
is fine.
You know what? It's in the recording.
Fine.
It's what we're recording.
It's in the recording. You guys will not have forgotten. It doesn't matter that I have forgotten.
Never mind that it's been a week for you and it's been 40 minutes for us,
Yeah,
The immersion.
What?
So
they don't need to know that.
we're starting in Oxford. So as you guys get onto the platform, and you guys take in the sights of Oxford, we are looking at, there are a lot of we're focusing more on the Gothic architecture that there is, and there's a lot of different types of architectural styles. You're looking at more modern functional designs together with Baroque kind of tones. You're looking at dramatic uses of lights and shadows. There are a lot of what you can see as students around. Either they're with a group, they are at They seem to be at libraries, at shops. Some are walking towards the campus of the universities and colleges there. And you can determine that there are also just a lot of churches around the area. I think Corwin will definitely recognize it as there are people of Apollo there. There are some people of, instead of letting you guys roll for this, you can see that there are some priests and paladins of Artemis walking around. And yeah, these are kind of the structures that you'll see around the area that you guys have arrived at. The address for Mechanics Incarnate would be about 10 to 15-ish minutes going into the city. So from here on, I'm going to let you guys do what you want.
One question.
Yes.
Because it's not been officially said. I believe it's evening now, right?
It is, yeah. We are looking at about 7:30-ish. Sappho will not have fixed anything for you guys to sleep at, so you guys are going to have to find a place to stay for the night. You guys are going to have to find yourself some food. So yeah.
Right.
As we are, for the churches galore, you were specifically naming Apollo, Artemis. Anyone, is it basically all of the various churches that would be around?
You're looking at mostly Apollo, Artemis.
Okay.
There are some other people around from the different churches. However, the main ones are very much Apollo and Artemis here.
Okay, as long as, all right. Yep. Then Josie's head's on a swivel, but no more than usual.
Got it. What you can't see, though, and I will immediately say that, there are no people of... Give me, everyone, let's say Una with disadvantage, a history check.
Bleed.
That is a 21 from Corwin.
I rolled twice the same number.
Lovely.
Brings me to 16.
Ooh, okay.
9.
I forgot I had that much in history, which tracks for Viktor. I have a +5 in history.
Wow. Yep.
So it's 19 plus 5. I have a 24.
Nice.
So we got a 24, a 16, a 9, and a... What did you have, Corwin? A 21, right?
Yeah, 21.
So, I'm gonna go to Una last because of the different types of knowledges there are. What everyone will know, even with a 9, is that...
Sorry, the rude.
There is... After the flood of the Netherlands, people started casting out the Church of Poseidon a lot. Because they decided that if there is someone that could be potentially responsible or someone that could have anything to do with it, it must be the Church of Poseidon. They are still active. They are just not near the areas where the Netherlands is. So if you're looking at Germany, UK as well, Belgium, France a little bit, going more... The further you go to the south, you will know that there might still be people of Poseidon there. However, the actual church of it in the surrounding countries, so you're also looking at Denmark and stuff, you will barely see any Poseidon people here. So that is also why in Oxford you will see people of all kinds of groups, except for Hades and Poseidon. And with with that 9, it's... You know that they're not there. You don't know the exact reason of it, but with also where you're coming from, it makes sense that there's at least some kind of knowledge about that.
Does the 24 get a little more than that?
The 24?
Mm-hmm.
Also because you read a lot.
Read a lot.
So read a lot.
So read a lot. The Church of Poseidon is not the evil cults that people say that they are. There are, just as in different kind of religious, different kinds of churches, there are their own little cults that have been active here and there around the world. However, people will mostly put the blame rather on the entire church than find the exact people who were part of that cult, who could be done with that. There is knowledge about the flood in general. People think that it is some kind of either a cult of Poseidon, or they're just talking about the flood of the Netherlands. It seems to kind of be mixed in with each other, and it just does not really make a lot of sense. Poseidon's a very difficult part of history that people have not really figured out yet.
Right. Makes sense, yeah. All right, then.
Yeah, what do you guys want to do? You guys have the freedom.
Seemingly.
That's not concerning at all.
Above table. Let's do the planning above table.
Yeah, smart.
First,
Yeah.
and then we can do the
Yeah,
character thing.
agreed.
I think, so for me personally, I think it's, I kind of want to go to Jonny's first before fixing any accommodations kind of thing, because I just want to know, you know?
Yeah, I'm torn back and forth because, like, I'm trying to think of, you know, Josie thinking in the entirely pragmatic way that she does, is in fact herself very 50-50 torn, because waiting till, if we go to Johnny's right now and we don't secure accommodation beforehand, there's less of a chance of finding something worth our time and money that late. But also, she's like, the sooner we get there, the less time somebody else has to come through, and since we know the government's on it. So I think that Josie's perspective would probably go the same way. We know that we're not the only people looking at this. We should get to the shop
Amazing.
first and then figure it out.
Viktor and Josie just being like, handshake.
Yeah.
Also, above table, no matter where we go first, I think we should stop and get healing potions. Just because I think we have a limited amount of healing, and I think that might be
Right.
smart.
Yeah. Ouchies.
Okay. So, give me the plan of what you guys want to do.
Go to Johnny's, I guess.
Go to Johnny's
Yeah.
first? Mechanics Incarnate?
Also, the name is metal as fuck. Well done. Ro.
Incredible. name.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you.
As we walk, Corwin is going to be very intentionally not looking any of the Apollo people that they happen to pass in the eye, and kind of trying to stay the other side of either Vic or Josie, just because they're bigger, the other side of someone from the Apollo people.
Do you make that, like, is it kind of aware that, do you make it kind of aware that Corwin is actively trying to not be close to Apollo people?
I think she would do it as subtly as she could. I don't know if that's something that I should roll for.
Give me a performance check.
I think that's probably
And then I'll
smart.
give the inside check for the others again.
Yeah.
Can I ask
wanna-
something? I'm so
You
sorry.
go
Yes.
first, and then I'll go with mine. After.
Does Corwin still wear any insignia that is
I was
signifying
about to
Apollo?
say.
She does not. She does not wear a single thing that is Apollo related, except for she probably, in deference to Apollo, would have put a little like sun charm on her hoverboard. But like that's probably the only thing. That was a 10 on performance, and I would like you to note that is with a +5 to charisma. Oh my goodness!
So, I would
Quickly-
like everyone to roll in. Yes.
I want to do one thing for Josie here is if Corwin is trying to hide behind, particularly like Josie being big and a person you would hide behind, you will notice that she is not doing a very good job of getting in between you and anyone religious. She is also herself concerned with being just not hiding, but drawing as little notice as possible. She's not going to take up space so you can't be seen. She's trying not to be seen. She's not going to be the one who's going to be seen in front of you. You gotta hide behind somebody else.
Corwin and Josie trying to hide behind each other.
Basically. But it's less like don't look at me and all this stuff, and it's more just like I am not here.
Laser focus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would it be fair for like Una to notice that and then potentially
If you want to say like I don't think Una will notice that, I will also take that.
Okay. I mean,
Whatever you want.
If those two munchkins are making it not like obvious, but it's clear when the formation kind of falters. There might be a suggestion made to maybe not walk down the main paths. If we're hiding, how about we just actually hide?
I love Una approaching this practically. Like, do you guys just want to take side streets?
Just like, can we just...
Yeah, especially as a rogue.
I kind of see it as like in game. Corwin would have had to roll. However, there's someone else who's also struggling with that, so I would say it as disadvantage. It's already not going great, so I would genuinely say, even without insight check, these two have some issues going on, and you guys will notice immediately.
I would also say Viktor probably knows about them already. If you've been out with me on an assignment, you know that I just don't talk to church people.
Yeah,
Church people.
at least that I feel like would be apparent, because I feel like there's a lot of churches in London as well. So, I feel like Viktor would prioritize Corwin right now, because he's like, nah, Josie got that shit. Like he's seen that, so he's going to offer his arm, like as subtly as he can to Corwin to like kind of hook under if she wants to.
I have a question for you, Joe. Mm-hmm. What shape is Viktor in right now? What's your appearance at the moment?
He is still the appearance he was when we entered Nyx's blacksmith shop. Okay. He is like this more androgynous. You can kind of tell he was inspired by Tiefling, because he has like his little horns. He has one canine like kind of poking out of the corner of his mouth. He's a cutie. He is shorter than Corwin right now. I think he is 165 or something like that in centimeters, in meters, in in something in the
system, in the system,
in unit, in measure,
in the measure.
So yeah, he's very unassuming, I think, in his current form. Yeah, offering his arm.
Okay, yes. So sorry about that. I'd forgotten that Vic was in this form. I was thinking of Vic as very tall. Vic is short, but yes, Corwin would absolutely. Corwin would absolutely, loop her arm through his. And also just kind of keep her eyes on the ground. She's just kind of following, trying not to attract notice.
So, you guys are still walking. Viktor has offered their arm for Corwin.
I didn't realize there was going to be quite so many Apollo people around. I mean, I knew that Oxford's a hub, but the sooner.
So, just one question. You don't have to go in depth, but... former colleagues or people you just try to get away from?
Nothing that's going to be a problem for any of you. Former colleagues.
Okay. I was about to say that's not what I asked. He, as quietly as he can, so that nobody else hears but Corwin, be like, "You're going to be alright."
Corwin is not going to say anything. She's going to just kind of cuddle in a little bit, like when you're holding like arms with someone and you just kind of like into their shoulder, like nestle into their shoulder a little. But she's just gonna kind of like swallow hard and just kind of like cuddle in a bit and then keep walking.
Fan art. I need fan art. Thank you. I need so much fan art.
I would say if Josie hears the former coworkers bit, you're gonna kind of. Josie, I imagine, will be walking at the front of the group, as she tends to. She's always trying to be out in front of everybody. But she's just going to kind of... You kind of might catch her cock her head back a little bit. Not quite look at you, but just kind of, like, take notice and then keep going.
Josie will remember that.
Basically, yes, exactly that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Yeah, you guys are gonna walk towards Mechanics Incarnate. Once you guys get there, you can see this. It looks similar to Nyx's shop. Like, there's colors with reds and browns and oranges in the entire thing, where Nyx's shop was quite small. Like, it was more of a rectangle hallway. This is giant. This is a large store. And from the windows you can see like shelves with different types of kind of clockwork figurines, and there's a section which is just parts of weaponry, and there are all kinds of like mechanical stuff in there. And on the signs that hang from the edges of the store, it is just these two cogwheels intertwined with each other. And the door is chained up.
Anyone have a key? Did we think to grab that?
You probably should have asked Nyx for that one, huh? You know?
Give me a moment.
That's on us, Vic. And then I will try to stand sort of in front of the door if Una is genuinely going to go over there and try to look at the lock. I'm going to kind of stand in front to try and block the view, just looking away.
Yep, I would very much like to do that,
right.
please.
Go for it.
Rick was Rick? Who's Rick? Rick is on the Protectors team, by the way. He's a lovely guy. We love him. Vic, fuck me. Vic was about to grab his thief tools and was like seeing Una grabbing hers and was like, okay, well, let the new
you're
goal
gonna do
show
this
off.
better, yeah.
Yeah. No, oh, you don't know.
All right, Una.
Sleight of hand then, just a simple.
Yep. Roll me sleight of hand.
Sorry, the die.
Fuck.
Yes.
You sleight of handed so well that your dice disappeared.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have rolled. It's so hard to see this number. Oh, it's a 17 plus 25, please.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
25, please.
25. So, while Viktor is kind of a little bit like, oh, you know, let her show off a bit. She does. She very much shows off. It is literally, it's like working with the thieves' tools, and it's unlocked. 10 seconds, maybe even less.
Una just goes.
Yeah, she blows on it and opens.
Joking.
So the chains, like, fall down the side. And the door is now officially unlocked.
Just for the flavor, can I say that Una would have been a bit careful and actually try to support the chains just so they don't go whoosh. I shall do that.
Absolutely. Can I, by the way, no, have you guys just actively been standing around this shop in the middle of the streets and not been stealthy?
I mean,
no.
Yeah, Josie's just been standing. I don't know what the others. I mean, Josie's been standing up front, facing away from the door, just talking to the others, hanging, like looking nonchalant, but not hiding that I'm here.
Yeah, I feel like we would have done the thing where it's like the three of us very much looking like just normal people talking in front of a closed shop. It's like yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take that without a roll then.
You're really good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Right, just before, and then this is when it's like, look left, look right. Open the door.
The door opens. And you guys enter Mechanics Incarnate. Once you like kind of see all of these shelves, there are like there's a desk at the very end, and it's this kind of large service desk with like one part of it is like a part of a workshop. It's this workbench, and there is a back door which is kind of it's only like a slightly opened, and next to that, give me a perception check, everyone.
And one quick note is once I am Josie's gonna try to go into the door last and close the door behind her.
Smart. Also, just noting
I can even
for
lock if you want.
oh, sorry, babe. Also, just noting for everyone that I think Una, you do still have dark vision just now, right? Because it would be dark probably at 8 p.m. in the UK.
It's for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got a dark vision for 8 hours, so that's all good.
I can see forever.
18.
Not one, baby.
Oh,
Ooh.
baby girl.
18, 23. So we got 18, we got 23 from Una, we got 1 from Corwin, and 13 from Viktor. So, I will say, Corwin, this is all so much stuff you are not even aware there was this much stuff that was worked into weaponry and these kind of clockwork stuff. With the 13, you can kind of see these different parts. There is this... Oh, I'm gonna need people to help me with words here.
You fine.
Yeah, sure.
You know where, like, in those science classes you have the skeleton that stands there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that on? That is on, like, this rack or something?
Like
or
the stand holding
Stand,
it, yeah.
like a
Yeah.
stand? Yeah.
A display
right?
stand, maybe?
Yeah, so it kind of a display stand. Yeah, so there's on this display stand there is this kind of half-made mechanical body. Like there's like one leg is mechanical. There's a torso that's mechanical. There's an arm that's mechanical. The head, shoulders doesn't really fully exist yet. Like you can see that he has been working on that. I will note that everyone obviously above a 13 will also notice this. And for the 18, you will see that Jonny has had like at the back of the shelves, at the back of the desk, you will see some shelves where there are these actual clockwork figurines that are not for sale, and you can clearly see that there's this clockwork figurine that very much reminds you of Nyx.
Oh, my
That he
heart.
just kind of just made. And with the 23, you can see he has on one of the sides of the walls, he has in there's this frame where there is a part of a newspaper that just says local artificer saves man's life.
Can I read that article?
Lore.
You can absolutely read this article
Yeah.
if you want.
I would love to read that article, please.
All right, gang, look for clues.
So it's not, you can't see the full article. It's like ripped out of it, just like the headline. There's this picture of the shop, and then there's subtitle text. And from what you can get from that is Artificer saw this man collapse next to his shop, and he made him a new heart. He actively made him a new heart.
Upon reading those words, I am going to come up to the skeleton. Because I would find it extremely fascinating. Because it's new. It's new technology, right?
Well, especially for you.
I have Joe staring me into my soul, and I think I know why, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway.
Joe has connected dots. Viktor has not.
Yes, yeah, continue.
No, I just, Una, like, would read that. What's the date on that? Like, because obviously it would be, like, date of the article. It doesn't need to be exact. You can just throw it, like, a month ago, 17 years ago.
It's in 1919. No, it seems to be a couple years ago.
Oh, a couple of years ago. Is the name of a person, the saved person, mentioned?
No, it's not mentioned.
Okay. I would, just come up to the skeleton, just would like to have a look at that, because that seemed very interesting to be
We'll
honest.
go past everyone first, and then I'm gonna come back to the skeleton. Yes, I heard either Josie or Viktor.
Josie is going to two things. First, Josie's going to go to the desk and start looking for paperwork, correspondence, anything with a date that A, might indicate what the latest date on anything I can find is to try and establish when exactly he disappeared versus when we found out about it. And B, just any clues on if he was like talking to anyone specific, making any kind of plan, anything like that. Just so looking for correspondence and documents on the desk.
Got it. Give me an investigation roll.
That is a 7.
There's a lot of papers. There is like, there's another copy of that article, once again, slightly ripped out. Clearly, there was a part where he kind of seemed to have ripped through parts of the article and was like, I need to get a new one because I fucked up the cut of it. So there's multiple ones of those. You can clearly tell he was good at doing anything mechanical. Was not very good when it came to like papers, and even if you're looking at blueprints, it is just scrabbling.
Sounds like me.
It's just scrabbles of blueprints, and you can see parts of airships that he has made, stuff like that. But there doesn't seem to be any kind of notes that was in it.
And then the other thing, you can come back around to me, but just to name what I'm going to do when you come back around, the next thing Josie is looking for is anything that looks like either, like, I'm thinking like a hard to reach spot where something might be stashed, or like a space that would be difficult to get through that might have something behind it. Just sort of looking for
the secret compartment in the desk.
No, not in the desk, just in the whole shop. Because to be clear about my intentions, she's looking for if there's anything where she might need to turn into a cat to get to it because no one else could. That's what she's looking for, just in case it would be useful.
Understood.
Oh, Josie, that's cute.
I love Josie.
Viktor, who clocked that Josie's taking care of the desk working station kind of thing, would I'm so sorry, but he's just the person for that. He would make a whole show about going to the back room with Corwin and being like, with a smile, like not to be patronizing at all, just being like, making a joke out of this. It's like, you have my back, right? When I go in there.
Of course, always.
Good. And go to the back room.
Yeah, Corwin's gonna follow.
All right, you guys are gonna follow that. I will come back to that in a moment. Skeleton.
Skeleton! Tis I! For the power of the Grayskull.
The mechanical parts stand. Yeah.
I'm just, when I would come up to it, like, proper, like, you know, when you're looking at a piece of art and you trying to like just understand, because she's like, haven't seen something like that before, kind of thing, or at least as far as she can remember. Just looks at it, trying to figure out like why, what does it do, what makes it tick.
Good one.
Does it move?
So, give me an investigation check.
Let me roll it. So,
I will say Corwin and Viktor also roll me investigation just for like in beforehand. Yeah.
Investigation. So that's a 16, please.
16.
That is a 19 from. Oh whoa! That is a 19 from Corwin.
Keep that for when I'm coming back to you guys. Yes. So we got a 16.
Mm-hmm.
It is not necessarily made to connect with each other. Like he isn't trying to build a robot or something out of this. It is clearly like this seems to be some kind of work stand where he wants to build parts of it together. And even if you try to find things that are under it, there are no like what you've read in the article about the heart that he built, it's not like that was in or is still in that in any way. It seemed to really just be a way for that. Funnily, the left arm is not there, knowing that the type of things that you made you will recognize from the arm that Nyx has. So these are clearly things that he is making just to be sure, so that he can either replicate this for other people, or that he can have on hand if something goes wrong, he can make something like that.
Okay. Can I just make one note?
Yes, absolutely.
I just would like to, and I hope everyone will agree, we did not turn any lights on, did we? Everyone can see in the dark.
Yes.
Good.
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 To
I was
know.
just like,
Good
I need to.
know, yeah.
Very good to establish that.
I was like, I know that you want to. Well, you're going to be moving on to Josie, I'm guessing. So Una would make a comment like, "Your friend has been into interesting things, it seems."
He's the best at what he does in a way that, frankly, I don't think anybody else can quite keep up with the things that he makes. So it makes sense that we'd find a lot of stuff in here that's pretty much one of a kind.
Yeah. Any idea what I should look? Any ways I can help? You guys knew him.
At this point, the only thing we're really here for is information. Anything that indicates if something happened to him, anything that indicates if he intentionally went somewhere. I don't have a better idea than that at the moment, unfortunately.
Okay. In that case, to not be in your way, I'm just gonna keep an eye on the front door and the window.
Okay. Make sure to poke around a little bit. If anything suspicious to you, even if you think I might already know about it, you never know.
If Corwin can hear this, she might pipe up, might be worth checking the locks, seeing if anything looks forced, if, maybe he left on his own.
Can I have, and I want to make sure because Una said something about helping, would you help investigate stuff even if you're going through towards the door and stuff? Because otherwise I will let Josie roll with advantage.
No, absolutely. But just want to kind of say that she'll be on the lookout essentially, just to say it plainly.
Good call. Best perception in the party.
Perfect.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah, actually. Alright, give me investigation with advantage.
That's pretty good. Oh, wow. Okay. I got a 19.
Oh.
Let's go. Good job.
I had an 18 and then a 19, so that was good advantage.
Well done.
19. So, I will come back to that.
Okay.
The suspense.
We have once you go to the back rooms. The back rooms?
Yes, we
Back
are in the
rooms.
back rooms.
Once you go, you're going into the back rooms. You're going into the back room. And the back room is not necessarily a back room. The back room is a stair. Stairs that go up.
Oh.
And once you go up, this door is also slightly opened. And once you go in, you can hear kind of ruffling through, it seems to be something or someone is ruffling through stuff. If you see through the gap or you walk through that room, you can kind of see this very cozy living room space. It could potentially be that Jonny also just literally lived above his store.
So we hear someone rifling through things in the living room? I mean,
the living room or something in a little bit further into that room.
Can we see?
Yeah, can we...
Give me a perception check, both of you. I can, in my head, it still pokes head around. Pokes
Yeah,
100.
we are Scooby-Dooing right now.
Yes.
Oh, where's Una when I need her? Oh, it's not that bad. The numbers on these dice.
Corwin rolled a 5.
Baby girl. Baby girl.
Corwin has not been rolling very well.
Was it perception?
Yeah, perception.
16.
Okay. So while Corwin is looking through the living room, it is like quite small for how big and grand the store downstairs is. This is just kind of like small rooms with each other. There's a door that it's not really a door. It's just this
Archway?
Yeah, just this archway into a kitchen. And there is a door to the side. That Corwin is sadly not focusing on because that's where the riffling through stuff comes from. It's from the, once again, slightly open door, kind of in like a corner. Once you're in that living room, there is like an archway and a door in the corners of it. Yeah.
I think Viktor is going to cast message to have like a connection with Corwin.
Smart.
And in her head be like, there's someone else here. So we should sneak up on them and try and see if we can interrogate them.
Yeah, sounds great. You lead the way.
Right.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
I love that we have the big clanky paladin and the squishy warlock
I was about
sneaking
to say,
up
but I didn't want to
while the rogue and the druid are downstairs.
Yep.
This is fine.
Dude,
Everything's
that's
fine.
great. It's perfect.
We also split the party.
Yep.
It's not a nat 20, but it is a 21.
Oh,
Hey.
In stealth.
okay.
And then
good.
Joe.
Uh-oh.
Dirty 20.
Hey.
Ooh, oh, okay,
Let's
nice.
go.
Viktor has a +4 on stealth, so we're good.
Yeah, Corwin's a +3.
Nice.
You guys can stealthily walk through the living room until you get to the door that is once again slightly opened, and you can see this is a bedroom, and it has for how small Jonny actually is, it has this large bed. Like, he has actively profited off of the fact that he is now working also for like he's making the crown and stuff. He's working for the kingdom. And he made something like cozy but also just beautiful out of it. Like, he made this, while downstairs everything is still kind of like that brown rusty colors of all the cogwheels and mechanical parts, he has made this clock in the corner that is actually painted and things like that. And he has a desk next to his bed, his nightstand, where someone is ruffling through the stuff, and it is this, from what you can see, halfling man, and his hair is in this kind of like afro style, but more gathered into a bun. His large trench coat, same as Jonny would always wear, and he seems to be ruffling through the nightstand.
I'm sorry, Joe is thinking.
Lizzie's also thinking.
You know, there's...
You guys think, and I will go back down.
Yes, we are thinking. We're panning
Good
back
plan,
to
good
the
plan.
others, yeah.
Yeah. So, you rolled a 19, Josie, with that. And obviously Una's also still looking around. Una, you can definitely notice that no one's looking your way. Like, the front door is closed. People are not looking inside. People are not even noticing that people are inside. And in one of the corners of the shop, there is an open mailbox that could have been closed. He could have just forgotten to leave it open. With that, Josie, on the workbench, you find an envelope with, in very neat handwriting, there is just Jonny's name, like Jonny the Rolo, and then there's this line across, like under it, and it is open.
Is it still have its contents in it? Is it just an empty envelope?
It does not have its contents in it anymore.
Okay. And there's no other marking information. I mean, a stamp, presumably, but...
There seems to, like, there's pens behind it. There's pens on the workbench. But what has been in it could have been one of those pens, but it seems unlikely. It could be that something that was in that envelope he either has taken with him, or it has something to do with that.
Okay.
From upstairs, you guys can just hear tuk-tuk, as upstairs the man drops on accident this photo frame. Do you guys speak Halfling? I don't think anyone speaks Halfling.
Hang on.
Do you?
Let me actually check, because Viktor can
Give me a sec.
can do a lot of things.
I do not.
Not one of the languages I know.
No.
All right. So there is some words in Halfling being said mostly to himself. So yeah, you can hear that falling from upstairs. As we scan back to upstairs.
Okay.
Did you guys think about it?
We did.
Yes, we did.
We were side chatting.
We were side chatting. We came up with a plan. So Viktor is not even actually addressing that in the message thing with Corwin, just hoping she naturally does that. He kind of, leans against the door frame, door open now, and goes, "Can we help?" Hoping that Corwin does something behind him to look intimidating.
Yep, behind him, Corwin is gonna kind of like, she's wearing leather armor, she's tall, she's gonna like kind of thunk her halberd against the ground and like do her best to fill the door frame and just kind of look as bulk and intimidating as she can.
So, both of you, give me an intimidation check.
Oh, yes. This is going to be very interesting.
That is an 18 from Corwin.
Who's the good cop? Who's the bad cop?
18 from Corwin.
Oh, Joe.
Oh no.
Okay.
Did you roll a natural one?
I rolled a natural 20. Again,
Hey!
I have a +7 on intimidation. I am
Yes.
now at a 27, being there in my full gear.
Okay. So, he turns around, he's like, what is... And he's still kind of, he once again drops the frame that he just picked up, and he has his hands full with clothes and these figurines that you saw downstairs. He has a couple of them like in his arms, and he kind of stumbles around. I'm gonna roll shit. That's what I rolled. And he takes a couple stumbles back, hits his foot against the bed frame. It's just like, did I forget to close? I should have closed the door.
You are robbing the place? Are you kidding me? Don't you have any professional pride?
Robbing the place? Who's the robbers here?
I think that might be one of Jonny's, threw his teeth to Corwin.
Downstairs, you can hear the commotion going
Great.
on.
We can hear voices, basically.
You can hear voices. You can hear a voice that is not Viktor or Corwin.
Yeah, Josie's beelining for the stairs. She's not like in a panic, like drawing her weapons ready to fight, but she's like, I need to be there. She can tell they're obviously not yelling, but she's like, well, that's where the action is. Let's go.
I hang back. Basically just keep an eye on the door. If anyone is gonna make it from the upstairs, then I can potentially intercept them as well.
Smart. Good idea.
I'm staying downstairs.
Got it.
Yeah, Viktor to his teeth is going to Corwin, being like, I think that might be a relative, not a thief.
What kind of relative? Well, I guess we have message still.
Yeah, I think it's funny if they are arguing in front of that poor man.
All that intimidation.
Gordon, what kind of relative would be this sloppy? What kind of relative grabs a handful of clothes?
I don't know, I don't have any.
My
Turning back to that guy.
Oh my god.
Gordon's face falls, just, oh. Well, I have lots, and that's not how they react.
Okay, I'm glad you have some. Okay, turning back to that man. Loosen up a little, trying to be less intimidating, like clocking that he's, while everything is full of stuff he could steal and sell, this is not a thief, this is a guy kind of gathering stuff from someone he knows or is related to. He's like, I assure you, we're not trying to steal anything, we're trying to find out what happened to the owner of the store, and I'm assuming you know Jonny?
Josie?
Yeah, I think just to sort of punctuate that line, I think it's during that sentence that Josie will arrive behind you guys there, see him there, hear you saying, hear you saying, like, we're trying to find out, like, what happened to him, and she's going to flash something that she has that has a bounty hunter, like, insignia on it, to show that, like, we're not just random motherfuckers coming in here, especially if they're a relative of his, they probably know he worked with Nix, who is part of the bounty hunter. So we just kind of go, get like official, it's like a cop flashing a badge, right? Like official business kind of thing.
Official business.
But she won't say anything, just whoop.
He sees that, and he's still kind of, like, he's looking around. He seems to be kind of nervous in a way of being like, I'm not robbing the place. I promise.
I know.
Remains to be seen.
Are you guys, like, you've worked with him, I suppose?
Peripherally, we've met him a few times.
Viktor's going to take half a step towards that man, extending his right hand and being like, politely being like, Viktor Valthayne, it's a pleasure.
He looks down at the hands that are full of stuff, and he just kind of just he instead of that he does like a little bow forward, not wanting to be impolite, but like actively showing like I don't have the hands for that currently. And yeah, so he's like, Marcus DeRollo, this is like quite an older man. He seems to be definitely like over 100. The most important thing you can notice is it looks really tired. He has like these quite heavy eye bags under his eyes. Yeah, you can clearly see that he probably hasn't slept in a while, or if he did, it wasn't a great couple of nights of sleep. He's like, I was just getting stuff. Sorry, were you guys investigating this place? I mean, I'm sure Suffer already knows about, like, his
She knows.
Okay.
Corwin is gonna stop blocking the door, because I realized that she was blocking Josie. So Corwin is gonna stop blocking the door, and kind of like step inside and step a little to the side, and like face softens and just goes, I'm sorry. I'm sure this must be a really hard time for you. We're here to help. We're here to help find him.
That's good. I'm glad there are some professionals actually looking for him. I'm sure people will be glad to know that. Can I do something for you guys? Is there anything I can help with? Do you mind if I just like drop this somewhere? And he looks down at like the pile of clothes that he has.
Oh, no, sure.
Do you want help with that?
No. I can do it. And he walks past you guys into the living room, and places the clothes very carefully, almost too carefully, onto the desk. And he wipes off his hands. And then he still goes back to shake to Viktor again. He's like, I do want to. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
For everyone's knowledge, can I have a history check from everyone that isn't Una, because Una's downstairs?
I am gonna poke my head. I'm gonna poke my head down, like over to the stairs, and just go, Una, one of Johnny's relatives is up here. Just so you know, that's who we're talking to.
Oh, good.
All good.
Okay, I will keep an eye down here.
Thank you.
That's a 19 from Corwin.
Woo! 19?
Yes.
13.
13.
22.
Oh, okay. No, I will then count it for everyone even. This is... Jonny's profession doesn't come from just his love for that. His entire family works into building things. His dad actually started making the mechanical cars that are now for, like, kind of slowly starting to run the city. And Marcus DeRollo is, like, the big name on that, which is also why Jonny became such a big part, because they were like, oh yeah, he can do some small stuff, and then Jonny actively made a heart. And they were like, okay, get him on the side of projects right now. So yeah, that's Marcus DeRollo for you.
Did he invent cars?
He did.
Oh, damn.
He did.
So Marcus is his dad.
Yes, Marcus is his dad. His outfit looks more scruffy, like you can see in newspapers most of the time that he keeps himself quite well kept, and now his coat looks a little bit dirty. It's like kind of just hung from his shoulders in a way that he probably just put it on without really thinking about what he looked like.
Do you know if Jonny was talking to anyone before he disappeared? If there's anyone that you didn't know, anyone that we might be worth us checking out, any leads?
I mean, he like you guys. I'm not saying that I don't trust you, but he works for a lot of people. I'm unsure who he could have been involved with that would have been in any way dangerous to him, because this entire job is for dangerous. And I mean, he works with Nyx at the Wanted Dead. I mean, you guys probably know that. I don't know. He sometimes goes to Manchester. He has some people at the university where he like gets stuff. He does some extra research with the university there. He also, like, he went to school there, like, when he was younger. He always loved Manchester, and he keeps kind of just rambling on at some point. Yeah.
The more Manchester gets mentioned, the more Viktor starts shaking. Yeah. Not fully there right now.
If Vic is okay with... is this something that Corwin would notice, or is this something that Vic is kind of trying to be discreet about?
I think it is like someone starting to get a panic attack. You are not actively trying to avoid anything. More like that, yeah.
So if you're okay, which I'd feel okay if you vetoed this, but if you're okay with Corwin noticing, she will probably, because we were fairly close, she'll probably take a step closer to you and just like barely let kind of like the edges of our bodies touch, just so that you have kind of like the warmth and solidity of a person right next to you, like something to ground you a little bit. And she won't draw attention to it. She'll keep looking at Marcus and continuing to talk to him, but just kind of like trying to give you something to ground to if you want it.
There's this ever so slightly leaning in, like without making it apparent, like this very, very tiny, like kind of leaning in.
Mm-hmm.
While that's happening and he's rambling, Josie's gonna go, okay, do you know, when's the last time you saw him, and when's the last time anyone you know saw him, for sure?
Oh man, I don't know. I rarely see him actually. He's always somewhere. Like he's either with Tobias, he's either with you guys. He's all over the place. I know that he went to Manchester again. Like the day before he left, he came by to our house for dinner, and you know. He actually brought your friend, Nyx, I think is her name. He brought her over. Lovely woman, by the way. She's great. So if I don't know if you're even suspecting Nyx, but Nyx wouldn't. I know for a fact Nyx would never do anything. But
she's horribly torn up about it.
Yeah, I get that. She She's taken very, very good care of Jonny for the past couple of years that he's been with the bounty hunters. I hear many different stories about Safra being someone and Nyx being someone, and how that's always kind of like there's always a story with them. But he went to Manchester. I think he was going to meet up with Miss Williams, I think, who is I think he said like an evocation teacher, I think. He's always busy. He went there so many times. I don't know. I have not. It could be that he's still there and something. I don't know.
Where does he keep his books then? I feel like there might be information there as well.
His books. His books?
Yeah, what he the stuff he did for people. What he the things
accounting books.
Yes, that.
I'm unsure actually. I never really saw his accounting room, I'd say, or books or shelf. We keep ours at home. He's always wanted to like kind of separate from us. Not in a family way, but in a he wants to do his own thing. Like he got this store from us. I got my own place. Over. It doesn't matter.
That would be a good place to start looking. Then is anywhere we can find those.
Quick out of character question. Does the teacher's name mean anything to Viktor?
Miss Williams has taught, is still teaching from what you know at the University of Manchester. And she is indeed the evocation teacher. She is at the part of like the actual wizardry school. And yeah, you've seen her a couple times. So yeah, you would know her. However, she is never like, you guys have never interacted. So, Una.
Oh, yes.
Give me a perception check.
My very first question, what's going to be going through Una's mind, is the front door was locked. I opened it, and there's someone else inside. I would be frantically looking for any other way into this property. I literally wrote it down. How the hell did he get in? I don't know. Maybe there's a back door. Perception, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
That's 9. Okay, that gave me 15.
15. Hold up. That was a 15 on a perception check. Yeah, keep that 15. Roll me investigation.
Oh, keep that 15.
Keep that 15.
Oh, crap. That's a 22.
There is another back door towards the back of the building that is slightly open. However, that is not the first thing you would be finding. Next to that, in between the shelves of figurines, you can see that under one of the figurines is kind of like, it seems to be a sort of pressure plate that one of them is standing on. And it's kind of like this circular outline around the actual clocker figurine.
Okay. You know what they say. Gelatinous cube ate a curious cat.
Yeah, you're gonna trigger an Indiana Jones trap on us.
I mean, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna interact. Like, there's like a door directly on it, so the pressure plate is actually pushed in, I would presume. Okay.
There is, in like one of the corners is the small back door, and then behind the desk is like this long shelf of just small figurines.
Right.
And this like kind of dwarven figurine is on this. It could either be a pressure plate, it could be rotating. It is
right.
It seems to be something you can move, at least.
Okay. is there like a wall like next to me kind of thing? So like if I was to go around it, would I kind of be able to, you know how if there is a room, would I be able to gauge that, oh yeah, the depth of this area is different to the depth of this area, so there must be something this way kind of thing.
Smart.
There is not something in the walls. No.
Okay.
There seems to be a different depth when you're looking through the back room that the others left through. Downstairs.
Okay.
Like, there's the stairs that stop at some point, and if you turn, like, to the side of that, it seems like there is a part of that floor that has a different depth to it.
Right. Once again, I'm gonna take a mental note of that. I'm not gonna touch it. However, can I, like, pay attention to some of... Because, like, Una would find it intriguing... Maybe for different reasons. She would find it intriguing that there is like a figurine that resembles Nyx, and there is like other figurines. Do they? Would that seem purposeful, or would you say? I know it's a very hard question to answer, actually. But like, would you say it's fair to assume that they look like those people, like that? If there's one looking like someone that he knew, maybe there will be more, kind of thing.
Oh, like there's a theme. They all look like actual people.
Oh my gosh, it's voodoo dolls.
That was my thought too.
They do look like people you've either seen or recognized. You are pretty sure that when you look through all of the figurines, you're pretty sure that there's one that isn't necessarily perfect, but he's tried to work on a Sappho one that did not go very well.
Okay.
Incredible.
So it does keep reminding people, or like it keeps reminding you of people that he's actively worked with, or at least knows for some reason. The dwarf, however, on the, I'm going to call it the rotating pressure plate for now because I don't know the right word for it.
That's fine.
You have not recognized, not even in the Wanted Dead group.
Okay, that's fine. So that was like the back room, so the back door. So without losing the eyesight of the front door, would it be possible for Una to walk up to the back door and actually close it, like pull it in? Because you said it's ajar.
You can close that door, and if you like keep an eye out on outside with your 15 perception check that you rolled before, you can see in one of the alleyways the orange tabaxi that you guys saw on a train.
God fucking damn it.
Actively looking at the shop. And once...
I didn't notice him until
once
now.
you notice... No, you didn't. Once you notice him, or them, they give a little salute with their fingers, turn around the corner, and that's there.
Oh, I hate them.
And that is where we end this episode of Remains to be Seen.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Thank you all so much for listening, and whatever happens next remains to be seen. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Remains to be Seen is an original podcast created by Dyaflame Studios and licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 International License. Today's episode was produced by Anusia Battersby and edited by Rover, Elliott, and Joe Mendacium. It starred Elizabeth Simpson as Corwin Duvall, Joe Mendacium as Viktor Valthayne, Annie Ruby as Josie, Mirah Fae as Una, and Rover Elliott as the Dungeon Master. The intro and outro were composed by We Talk of Dreams, and a transcript was written by Elizabeth Simpson. To get in touch with us and keep up to date with our antics, follow us on Instagram, Bluesky, and TikTok at Dyaflame Studios, or view our website at dyaflame.com. Check out our show notes for additional credits, links, and transcripts.